Chapter 10. The two boys walk slowly through the bush. They have left the woman sleeping and now they are alone, back on the road of their making, each with a heart so heavy that even the juice packet in Angelo's pocket cannot fix. They have found money. They will find food, but it has not made them happy. She has reminded them of all they have lost. They are alone on their road. Little Mikey can feel the cold again, and now he doesn't want to chase it away. Angelo feels it too. He looks up to the stars spread like ice above them, each as hard and cold as the stones beneath their feet. There is no love in this world, and the boys know it. Angelo places his arm around little Mikey's shoulders. It takes but a moment, and then little Mikey puts his arm around Angelo's waist. Together they walk through the low and freezing bush, the glow of the big orange all-night one-stop on the shoulder of the highway beside Gehenna rising ahead. At the one-stop, little Mikey stays in the shadows while Angelo tracks across the open area of the forecourt. The man of the road walks quickly, knowing he is not welcome in the light, and finds a place beside the back of the sprawling building, once again hidden in the shadow. It is a moment only until one of the petrol attendants saunters to the boy, glancing left and right. They talk together in the dark, and little Mikey watches. The fumes from Angelo's packet are long gone. There is only cold and exhaustion. He has walked so far today and yesterday, and he is so far from home. His hunger is a hole the size of his body. His stomach eats at his spine. He longs for food. Finally, the petrol attendant leaves the shadow where Angelo is crouching, his pockets bulging with treasure, and Angelo comes scurrying back to little Mikey, moving like a shadow. He is a flicker under the light, a being that knows his safety lies in not being seen. He reaches little Mikey's side and shows him what he has in his hands. Money notes. "Come, let's eat." The boys run towards the 24-hour shop on the far side of the one-stop. They go to it the long way round, staying in the shadows, floating above the hard earth with the knowledge of what is coming. They round the fence near the highway, angling back to the giant truck stop, flitting down to the bright lights of the waiting supermarket. Just before they step out into the light once more, Angelo pulls little Mikey by the sleeve. "You go in," he says. "They don't know you. Buy us food for all this." He presses 3 money notes into little Mikey's hand. "How come?" "It's better so. You're nice and clean. You go in and then walk back to the road and then back around like we just came and meet me at the back." Little Mikey can see the boy is serious. "Okay." "Just hurry," says Angelo, smiling wide. "I'm hungry." Little Mikey scurries over to the shop. He steps into the glare inside, the brightness burning his eyes. He takes a basket and wanders down the rows. He scoops chocolates into his basket, and fizz pops, and cokes, and pies. He sees ice cream and scoops it in too, and he asks for hot chips at the back. All of it he carries to the till in this brightly lit place, this warm and glaring place, and he pays for all of it with their money, and then he hurries back to his friend. In the dark, the two boys eat ravenously. They do not stop until the packet is empty, and then they lie back with all of it swirling inside them. Little Mikey looks up to the neon roof. It spreads left and right, massive and bright, plastic and metal. The air is full of the smell of diesel and the cold bites at their skin. But he is warm inside. A smile blooms from within. "You were afraid, eh? You thought I wanted to hurt that lady." Little Mikey blinks. It takes him a moment to bring his thoughts back to her. He looks at his friend. "I didn't know what you wanted to do. I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted to get us something to eat." Angelo reaches across and takes little Mikey's hand. "This is how it is on the road. Sometimes everything is going good and you feel good. And sometimes you got nothing and then you feel bad and lonely. But you got to remember that the good is coming again. On the road, you don't know when you will get another chance. We're nice and full now. But sometimes there's no food anywhere. The man of the road takes what he can get." Mikey is watching Angelo. The boy looks down at his bare feet. "She won't even know we were there," he says, closing his eyes for a moment, thinking. "Come," he says suddenly. "Let's sleep before the trucks wake up. We've got an hour still." Angelo is up on his feet, and little Mikey marvels at how he can still move. His own body aches everywhere, but Angelo seems to feel no pain. Little Mikey hefts his backpack as Angelo threads his way around the side of the one-stop, still sticking to the shadows, aiming for the slumbering trucks. Little Mikey follows, wincing at the pain in his ankle and the stiffness in his legs. Soon they are among the great machines. It is quiet in here and warm. While some of the big engines are cold, others still radiate heat. Like great ovens, they cool slowly, a measure of the length of their master's sleep somewhere above. Angelo trails through them, his eyes searching their number plates. He stops in front of one. The plate reads TWZ 857GD. "This one is going to Grootstad," he says, and starts climbing the side of the machine, up to the window. Carefully he peers inside. "Yeah, I think this is a good one. I think it will take us." Angelo takes a slip of paper from his pocket and slips it into the window jamb. Then he clambers down and immediately crawls beneath the truck. Little Mikey follows. Underneath, all is quiet. The great machine stands solidly above them, a castle of steel and grease and rubber. Little Mikey is on his hands and knees, crawling behind. Angelo stops, turns and reaches up to touch the machine above. His eyes close in pleasure at the heat. He lies down, curling up on himself like a dog. Little Mikey slides in next to him and immediately feels the warmth of the engine radiating down. It is like the rocks of Freeburg Hill in summer, or the heat of his mama's dryers when he dozes beside them on an afternoon. Down here, buried under the great truck, winter's cold is banished for a while. "We can sleep a bit," murmurs Angelo. "When the driver wakes up, he'll see our sign. Then we can go with him." "What if we don't wake up?" "We have to." Angelo closes his eyes, content to sleep on his arms. Little Mikey looks at the bare feet of his friend. He reaches down and takes off one of his own shoes. "Angelo." The boy's eyes open sleepily. "Put this on, we can share it." Angelo sees the tennis shoe held out. He smiles. Then he reaches up and pulls little Mikey down to him on the concrete, hugging him tight. "You keep that. My feet are tough. Yours still need them." Angelo waits for little Mikey to slip his shoe back on, and then he pulls him close. Almost immediately his breathing settles, sleep coming for him. "But I must give you something," whispers little Mikey. Angelo hugs him tight. "Just sleep a bit." Little Mikey watches the world through the silhouette of the axle. It is quiet out there, neon lit, deserted and cold. A lone car howls on the highway. In this moment, he knows he is very far from home. Then, just as it claimed Angelo, sleep claims little Mikey. He dreams. He sees a woman sleeping in a warm bed and the shadow of a boy creeping about her. He moans as she tosses over and over, unable to wake to the danger above. He dreams with her, sweating in her warm bed, the shadow of the boy flitting all around, pulling threads from them, their blankets unraveling bit by bit, until beyond her window a great roaring starts. The streetlight, he thinks as it rises in a blaze, filling the window, filling the room, the woman still unable to wake, tossing and moaning, a voice echoing, "Mikey, Mikey." He wakes to thunder. The truck above them is awake, the engine shaking the world. "Come on," says Angelo, pulling at him. "The driver is going to take you. Come on." Little Mikey scrabbles after him, only half awake. He hardly notices the blast of early morning's cold, the coldest portion of the night, as he clambers groggily up the side of the great beast, up to the passenger seat, so much higher than Brian's 8-tonner, the cotton of the worn seat soft under his palms. Faintly lit by the glow of the dash, a man is rousing himself behind his great wheel. "You go, Mikey. He's going to take you to Grootstad. You go see your mommy." Mikey feels Angelo's hand worming into his, pushing something into his palm. "See you, Mikey. I'll see you in Grootstad." "Cough!" The driver clears his throat deep, then spits out the window. "Right," he mumbles, wiping sleep from his eyes as he taps the great machine into gear. With a crash of its joints, it jolts forward. They are rolling. Angelo swings the door shut and jumps lightly down to the distant concrete. Little Mikey is wide-eyed at his new seat so high above the road. "Angelo!" He turns to look. And there is Angelo, standing alone on the concrete of the Gehenna 24-hour one-stop on the main route to the Namibia and to Grootstad via Highway 3, waving up to him. Little Mikey puts his palm to the window. He doesn't know how to open it, and he doesn't want to shout. The new man is by his side, so he just watches as his friend recedes, surrounded by his kingdom of neon, the world beyond that black. Little Mikey turns in his seat, shocked, still waking. Here is a new world. The cab of a mighty man TGS, a 28-wheeler dragging a double trailer behind, gliding meters above the ground. They are chugging out of the little town. The two of them are so high up that little Mikey can see over the fences of the houses gathered along the street. He looks for the house of the woman, but he does not know how to recognize it as they clatter forward. He looks at the driver beside him. The man is shirtless in the musty warmth of the cab. He is gaunt, a creature of the road. He alternately rubs his face and rubs his hands up and down the giant wheel, waking his body. But it is a losing battle. Little Mikey watches the man fighting sleep as the great machine pounds underneath them. His eyes droop, his head droops, and fright seizes little Mikey until the man jerks upright, smacking his face and blinking furiously. He lights a cigarette that burns bright in the dark and pulls on it deep. He cracks the window beside him, and winter's breath comes whistling inside to touch them with cold, waking him with the spice of the endless bush crouching out there in the dark. As they gather speed, leaving the town behind, readying for the assault on the escarpment that slumbers, giant in the night. "You want to sleep?" The man has spoken suddenly. He speaks Afrikaans, his words hard and strong like the twisted bush out there. "You can lay on the bed. Sleep till sunup. It's a long drive forward." He gestures behind him, and little Mikey twists to see a bunk strewn with the man's suitcase, clothes and blanket. The man reaches around and pulls the blanket aside so that the bare mattress is revealed. "You can lay. It's early still." "No, I want to look at everything." "Yeah, it's lovely to look." The man draws on his smoke and then sends it spinning into the cold. "The early morning is a good time. I just got to wake myself up. 1 hour, then we can get a coffee, just at the sunrise." The man nods at his wisdom and then reaches forward and twists the knob of the radio. Music from across the world joins their breathing. Little Mikey clambers from his seat to the bed. The mighty cab is twice the size of Brian's. From his new place in the back, he looks out at the headlamp lit dark. It's beautiful. There's something in the air, an energy moving out there, fluttering in the low bush, building in the silence. It is the feeling of getting going, little Mikey realizes. It is the call of the unknown that they are steaming into, the spirit of the road. It rushes through him, this feeling of the world, raising him up. It smells of diesel and soil and cigarettes in the dark. Suddenly he remembers. Angelo pressed something into his palm. In all the excitement, his hand is still clutched tightly about it. He spreads his fingers. He cannot see in the darkened cab, but he can feel. It is a chain. He feels it with his left hand, and it dawns on him. It is the gold necklace of the woman, the fine chain that Angelo removed from around her sleeping neck. He did not sell it after all. Little Mikey closes his fist tightly and then secrets the chain into his pocket. The roar of the engine becomes a lullaby, and then he is asleep.